Well, good morning, everybody. I am coming to you from quarantine life. So just wanted to go ahead and launch into our goal setting lecture today. I would say traditionally in this class, this is probably the assignment that I get the most pushback on out of any other assignment. A lot of the responses to this particular lesson come back saying I didn't find this relevant. I didn't necessarily think that this was very helpful. And so, essentially I'd like to just address that briefly and just to say that some of the most successful individuals in the world actually go through this particular exercise and go through it and make sure that they have clear and concise long and short-term goals. And so what I would just like to encourage you guys with today is just that this, if you didn't get a chance to do this assignment, please do it. I think that regardless of the scope of this class, that this can help you out throughout your life, to be able to have clear and concise goals in every area of your life, and to be able to have specific, measurable, actionable steps to go ahead and achieve those things. So what I would say also in this particular assignment, since we're about halfway-ish through the semester, maybe a little bit more, this is about the time where I see students kind of having a little bit of a difficult time keeping up with their assignments, keeping up with the other classes and their homework. It seems like you go through this initial high of saying, oh, okay, I'm in school now, I'm making some adjustments, and things are hopefully a little bit exciting when you first start. Maybe it's a little bit different since you guys are online, but generally you see kind of this trajectory, and around halfway through the semester it kind of takes a downturn. The excitement level kind of wears off, and you're kind of just going through the motions a little bit. And so what my encouragement to you today is in that respect is that hopefully you guys can see this as a positive thing, see your education as important and relevant to your particular life. So, I just would challenge you with thinking about what the goal of your assignment is. Since we're talking about goals, what is the goal of not the goal of your assignment, the goal of your schooling, rather. What is the goal of your schooling? What is the goal of your education? And I would just contend with you guys that, the goal of your education is not necessarily for you to know a bunch of stuff necessarily, or for you to, just get a degree so that you can move on with life. That the goal of your education is to actually have specific and measurable things that you can work on in your day-to-day life, to be able to challenge you and grow you as a human being. That's the goal of your education, is to become a better person, a more well-rounded person, and a more intelligent person, so that you can take that into your future careers, your life currently. And so if you understand that, I think it helps you on a broad scope. It'll help you throughout this semester. So that's my encouragement to you today, that there is a goal for these particular things. Famously, I think it's very interesting that, a lot of people, for example, say, I'm not really sure what history has to do with my day-to-day life. And I found that, again, my encouragement to you guys is to really think outside of just how am I going to see this in my day-to-day life, and what use is this going to be, and just say, okay, how can I use history and apply it to my life currently? How can these things help me to understand who's come before me, to be able to understand what has shaped our culture and our current situation as Americans? So one of the things, the kind of a famous story that I'll tell you guys is actually in the Vietnam War. What's interesting is when we were going through the Vietnam War, we were having a very difficult time with a specific general in the Vietnam Army that we were fighting against. And what's interesting is that after the Vietnam War was finished, the Americans actually found out that this particular general from Vietnam was using Native American war tactics that the Native Americans has used actually against the early American settlers. And so the encouragement being that just because you don't necessarily see the relevance in something doesn't mean it's not going to come up, because it was absolutely baffling to those generals. And if they had just a very a broader education, or had paid attention to their education a little bit better, they could have eventually probably saved a lot of lives. And so that's just one story that I can give you of somehow that this, some things can integrate in ways that you really didn't think that they would. And some of these learning experiences, if you will take them seriously and and really just work towards understanding things, not because of a grade, but because you want to be a more well-rounded person. It'll help you in the long term. So that being said, goal setting. You guys should have been able to create some goals for long and short term in every facet of your life. And, realistically, I think that this assignment really helps you guys understand something that's, I think, undervalued in our current day. And that's just the idea that let's propose that you didn't do anything that you set out for your goals. You didn't do anything with your goal setting. You didn't, eventually you said, hey, for my physical goal, I wanted to lose 30 pounds and I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, and you didn't do any of it. You didn't do one single thing that you set out to. I think that this assignment, at the very least, even if you did nothing on those goals, will serve the purpose of you figuring out, just generally speaking, in each area, what you want. And I understand that seems a little bit odd when you initially think about it, but I can tell you from personal experience in my own life, from talking with a lot of people, that many people go through their lives without having a clue what they want. They look at their lives and they say, well, I want to be successful. I want to do, I want to have a good career. I want to have a good relationship with my spouse or my significant other, what have you. But what you ask, even asking that question just saying that really, really doesn't help you, right? I want to have a good relationship with my future spouse or my significant other. Okay, what specifically does that look like? Because that can look a lot different to a lot of different people. To some people, they'll just say, well, I just want a significant other that I can sit on the couch and watch Netflix with and be comfortable around. Some people will say, well, I want a significant other where we're not fighting all the time, or whatever it is, right? That definition looks very different to different people. And this exercise, if you did nothing about any of those things, at least should have forced you to think about, well, what is the reason why what do I want? And not only what do I want, but why do I want that thing? Hopefully you took this a step further, and I would encourage you, if you haven't, to take this a step further and say, well, why do I want that particular thing? Why do I want to lose 30 pounds? Well, so that I can, but just taking that one step further goes so much farther in your motivation. It takes you so much farther to understand what you want. Why you want it is really, honestly, something that it can revolutionize the way that you think, right? I want to be successful. Okay, great. You want to have a successful career, let's propose. Well, I want to have a successful career. Well, hold on here. What does a successful career mean to you? Does that mean you get paid a lot of money? Does that mean that you get a lot of flexibility? Does that mean that you're home by 5 o'clock so that you can spend time with your family? Does that mean that you have a lot of time for vacations, to travel and to do things? Does it mean that you want a job that you can work from home at so that you can have more flexibility in your life? Success means something different to a lot of different people in terms of specifically their career. And so I would just encourage you guys to think about that the chance to be able to sit and think about, well, what do I want and why do I want it? Man, that can really help open you up to have that level of introspection. And I think that honestly is a very underutilized and undervalued trait in our current society. That you sitting down and having some level of introspection about your own life, your own behavior, your own goals, your own journey can help you infinitely over time. That you sitting down and saying, okay, well, why do I act the way that I do? Why do I want this particular thing? Why is it that this means so much to me? Why did this person bother me so much when they said X? Well, just sitting down and taking that one step further, saying, well, why? Why does that work that way? Why do I get so frustrated about that? How did this particular thing affect me? That you doing that can take you to a lot of different places in your life that you originally wouldn't go if you didn't have that conversation kind of with yourself or with somebody else. And so that is kind of my, I guess one of the purposes of this goal setting assignment, among other things. So hopefully you guys can take that, use that in your day-to-day life. The other thing that I would say in this particular section is that, your goals will serve you across the long term because, just you having something specifically written down makes it more likely that you're actually going to do it. That something specific, right? We talked about, your assignment talked about SMART goals, that you having an actual SMART goal nails down specifically what you want, why you want it, and then helps you to achieve it because now you have something concrete, right? That without something specific to aim at, that you're not able to really accomplish something. And there's no measurable ability for you to say, oh, okay, did I accomplish that thing? Now, you having a measurable, specific goal gives you a leg up in terms of the actual percentage that you're going to accomplish that specific thing. This is going to be a quick lecture, so I'll close with this. The last thing that I would say, and one of the hacks that I can teach you guys across my own life, and I would say many people have seen this in their lives, is this hack, this psychological idea of just start. That psychologically, it will make a huge impact on you if you just tell yourself, just start. Just, and then fill in the gap. Fill in the blank, right? Okay, I'm looking to lose 30 pounds. Well, I have, I'm going to work out 5 times a week. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do this exercise and this exercise and this exercise. And then when the day comes, we've all had that situation go, well, I'm going to start that diet today. I'm going to start this workout regimen today. And then you go, can I put this off? Somebody invites you out to eat and you're going for pizza and you say, well, maybe I can put this off to the next day. Or maybe I can just get away with not going to the gym. I'll use, my 2 days a week of rest right now, and then I'll go to the gym 5 days the rest of the week. And my encouragement to you and the hack that I can teach you is just tell yourself to start, right? That you saying, okay, I'm just going to go to the gym. I'm just going to go to the gym. I'm not going to work out when I get there. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go. I'm going to sit in the sun and that's it. Right? That you telling yourself that will help you exponentially towards reaching that goal. I'm just going to start. I'm just going to start with one step. I'm just going to start. Well, I'm going to start running. Well, okay, let's start with, your goal is I'm going to run 3 miles a day. Okay, well, let's start with a quarter mile today. What's manageable for you today? Okay, I'm just going to start on that quarter mile. I actually did this myself this last year. I had, 30 pounds to lose, and I wanted to lose it before my daughter was born, right? I was sitting at a weight that is not in any capacity comfortable for me, still not necessarily at my goal, although I did reach the 30-pound loss. But the one way that I looked at it was, okay, I'm going to start running. And the hack that I used was just saying, okay, I'm going to run 3 miles a day. That was the goal. And then I said, well, yeah, I got to it, and I said, there's no way I can do this. There's no way I can run 3 miles today. I'm going to just be dead tired the rest of the week if I run 3 miles. And so I told myself, okay, let's just start. Let's just start. And so I ran a quarter mile to start, and I said, and when I got to the end of that quarter mile, I said, I can do a little bit more than a quarter mile. Let's go a half a mile. And then when I got a half a mile, I said, okay, let's do the full mile. Let's do the full mile, and then I can turn back. And then when I got to the full mile, I decided to finish there. But when I started, it was at a quarter mile, and it was so much easier once I had started saying, I'm just going to start with that quarter mile, and that's going to be it. It was so much easier for me to just say, well, another quarter mile. And I would submit to you that if you guys make a goal to get to the gym, now that they're starting to open back up again, right? That if you make a goal to the gym and you show up, and you just walk into the gym thinking, I'm just going to sit in the sauna today. I'm just going to do something, something simple. I'm going to walk on the treadmill. That once you're there, it gets exponentially easier for you to say, well, I'm already here. I might as well get a small workout in. And then once you're doing that small workout, you go, you know what? It's really not going to be that big of a deal for me to get my full workout. And I think that this hack also works for your schooling. I know that I've used this a time or two on my schooling, right? Okay. I don't want to pound out this 8-page, 10-page paper. I don't want to do it. Okay, well, start with the first paragraph. I'm just gonna write one paragraph for the rest of this, 2 week spans of time before it's due. I'm just gonna write one paragraph today, and that's all I'm gonna do. And then you know what happens? You get that paragraph, and you're like, this wasn't really that hard. I'm going to do 2 paragraphs. I'm going to do 3 paragraphs. And then every day you just say, I'm going to start. I'm just going to start. I'm just going to start. I'm just going to start. And that's it. And somehow, some way, every time that I've done that, it's worked for me. So hopefully it will work for you guys. Now that this video is up, you do have an assignment due Saturday, 11:59. You also have discussions. Please make sure that when you're doing your discussions, you are responding to either myself or somebody else in the group, because that is part of your participation score. All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions. Have a great rest of your day.